Do I look sad? It's because I messed this one up. Uh, I'm going to read from this book. I'm going to do exactly what I did last time, which is read the first couple of paragraphs, then skip to the middle, and it gets weird. But I mean, we all know it's cowboys and Indians. It's weird that they blame the cowboy part on the Portuguese, but so the title of the first chapter. All right, I need to read the first page. Actually, it's right here. Oh, there you go. This is a story of Portuguese Phillips, which every Portuguese person knows that Phillips is a very common name. And his daring ride for help. Here is a little army fort cut off by thousands of redskins. Here is the long trail, the warpath trail of the fighting Sioux. This is a true story of the Old West. That's one of those things I'd Google. I haven't because I just read this for the first time. Of courage. So that was a period. And then he starts with a of, which never stop with a purpose. Of courage and devotion to duty. So I guess Portuguese Phillips, who is Portuguese but somehow involved with a fight in the Old West. I don't know. Portuguese Phillips's ride still stands without equal in the history of our country. He was a man of the old trails, a man's man. From A.M. Anderson and Emmett A. Betts. So this might be a real dude. I don't know. This doesn't look like, I don't know. Anyway, Portuguese Phillips could see no Indians. He could see no signs of them as he rode along the trail. But this was Indian country. To see no Indians or Indian signs could mean only one thing: trouble. So I assume the rest of the book is eventually going this way, and I'm just going to flick to a random page and see what happens. Well, there's pictures on it. Soon after the army left, the peace meetings came to an end. Most of the Indians, loaded with presents, evidently gave presents, set out for their own lands. But there were many who headed north to join Red Cloud. I'm guessing Red Cloud's a bad guy in this book. Portuguese and Brett. They were getting Brett in the book, so I guess Brett was like a name back then. Stayed on at Fort Laramie, which I think is in Wyoming. Many families moving west in covered wagons rested here for a few days before going on. Stores were crowded with men waiting to leave for the gold fields. Hunters and scouts rode with the new from the north. So they're from the north, but they're going north. I don't understand this one. They told of their forts. Carrington, with building along the trail. The biggest was Little Piney, near Pilot Hill. Fort Phil Kearny, as it had been named, was to be a fine fort, one of the best in the West. That is, if Carrington could build it and fight the Sioux at the same time. Okay, so this is definitely a Indian versus cowboy situation where we have a caravan. I don't even know if I want to finish. I think this might just be a bad children's book from the 40s. Oh, well, we have to end with this one. With a wave of his big hand, Portuguese rode out into the night. He heard the gate close behind him, heard the hoof beats of his horse. Quickly he pulled off to softer ground, holding his horse to a walk. That sounds like something that I could write. It's like you're doing one thing, but you add like 7 other things on top of it. I'm very good at adding 7 things on top of one thing. He could, that's because how I cook and sauces and such. He could see nothing in the storm around him, but he headed across the little piney strait for the trail. That is, he headed for where he knew the trail would be. I'm going to leave it at that, and I don't even know, because I have not read this book. He headed for where the trail would be. I kind of like that as a storyteller. It's like he's going for where he thinks it is, but you know it's not there. And that happens all the time. It's like you always have to make some shit up. It's like when you start making shit up and you're like, oh, I am out of ideas. You're like, he's going to go here, but then you're like, but what if here isn't there? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at this. Have a good one, brother.